This is kvci.blogspot.com, George Boston Rhymes in Valdosta, Georgia. I'm standing in front of the Quitman Free Press in that the Quitman 10 were removed from office by a court order from Georgia Governor Nathan Deal. I understand that the order was issued, or the Quitman 10 was called or emailed by internet, and they received the message around about 4:30, and there was a heavy police presence at the Brooks County Board of Education building, I understand, at the meeting. I also understand that there was an extremely large crowd of citizens from the local area, and that the petition had to be pulled back to accommodate the people that was at the meeting. Of course, they had to be concerned about 3 members of the board that were being removed from office. And that was Dr. Nancy Whitfield Denner, Elizabeth Diane Thomas, and Linda Trotman. And they were suspended, they were not dismissed, which means they will have to wait and see what the verdict is of their trial that's scheduled for April, as according to the Quitman Free Press. But from what I've gathered from talking to people in the community, there are questions still lingering. Why did they put the same people back on the board, number one? And how or why didn't board member Frank Thomas remain as vice president, since he was voted into office and there was nothing that he done of any sort? He's not going to trial. Another thing that personally I have a question about is what harm or what damage was done along the lines of the credibility of the Brooks County Board of Education by keeping these 3 outstanding citizens on the board. In addition to that, we can understand, simply because by what the Quitman Free Press reported, and that is that during the vote, Frank Thomas, who's been on the board for quite a while, he did not vote for the superintendent Sheila, nor did he vote for the vice president. So it seems like that there's still a problem dealing with race here in Brooks County, in my most humble opinion. And I read the article here in the Quitman Free Press, and I want to state for the record that I understand that there was a lot of police present, at least 5 to 8 police officers was present, and as if though there would be some type of disturbance, maybe from the citizens or from the Quitman 10, we're not sure. But this pattern and practice here in South Georgia, not only in Brooks County, but it seemed to be a continuation of the old days when certain groups of people have been disenfranchised, or barriers put up against people to be able to vote under our form of government. Now, what concerns me also is the fact that the citizens or the voters who voted to elect these people into office, now we have vacant seats on the Board of Education, and we can only ask if the voters, once again, if they were not disenfranchised. They have no elected officials from those particular districts because they are vacant for right now. And we understand that the law says that the governor have a right to remove these people from office, and I'm sure he exercised that right. I'm going to get that particular law, and I want to read it only for my benefit. But the only reason I'm out here is because I want attention to be drawn on the situation of the Quitman 10. In other words, there may be some things that are not being reported that should be reported concerning the incident. I would love to see a copy of the video of that meeting. I have recorded earlier that Brad Shealy, when President Dennard was over the board, that he didn't attend a lot of the meetings, and even when he was at the meeting, his mannerisms spoke for itself. And I have that recorded, and all I do as a retired military veteran, I was taught to understand body language because I supervise people. And in the military, they didn't want my troops to commit suicide, what have you. So I learned body language. And it was as if though Brad Shealy did not appreciate Ms. Dennard even being president, although she was elected, and according to law, up until the point that Republican Governor Nathan Deal removed her from office by this commission that he selected. So this is George Boston Rhymes doing what I do. And the reason I do what I do around here in Brooks County and Valdosta and Coffee County and all around the area out in Bentonville, Arkansas, because I'm a concerned citizen. I love people. I love justice. I love right. And I know what black African Americans have gone through to get this great right to vote. I know we had to count how many bubbles in them, all this kind of jazz just to get a right to vote. And I am very concerned about the voting rights here in the state of Georgia. The late Senator Robert Brown perhaps said it best, that there's a major problem with voting in the state of Georgia. It's not just here in Brooks County. He talked about all rural Georgias. In fact, late Senator Brown talked about putting a face on poverty. He talked about the prisons and the jails, how people are dying in the state of Georgia. That brother is no longer with us, but I'm hoping that some good patriot and believer in the maker of all life sources on the planet will do justice and do their own individual due diligence to find out what the real problem is. We know that we have had 43 all-white male presidents, all 43 of them. And black African Americans have always supported them. The active duty veterans and retired military veterans and disabled veterans respected the other 43 white male presidents without exception. You never see where blacks ask for a birth certificate, never call them an antichrist, never call them a clown, never call them dumb, never call them stupid, never call their 11 or 12-year-old daughter mocking and ugly names as our current president has received since he's been in office. And so apparently there just may be a much deeper root to what's happening here in Brooks County and in Willacoochee, Georgia, and in other areas of rural Georgia that need to be further investigated. Moreover, I must say this, I don't know the stand, but I don't know what position the Brooks County Democratic Party has taken on this issue of the Quitman 10. I don't even know if they met with the Quitman 10 and just talked to them on a general level.